Thanks to our progress in having nearly 75% of the eligible populated vaccinated and increasing the protection within our community, we can now begin to make revisions to how supervised quarantine works for unvaccinated persons who come through our border, allowing a portion of their 14-day quarantine to be completed at home with strict restrictions. Effective from Monday, August 23rd, supervised quarantine will operate as follows. Unvaccinated travelers with a valid pre-arrival test will still be required to quarantine for 14 days upon arrival in Bermuda. They will quarantine for their first days at a designated hotel facility. Following the receipt of a negative day 4 test, they will then be allowed to complete the final days of their quarantine at home, fitted with an electronic monitoring device. Those persons will test on days 4 and day 14. Additionally, if the traveler in question, who is allowed to quarantine at home following a day 4 negative test, does not live alone, all members of that household will be required to quarantine as well and must test out of quarantine on day 14. Unvaccinated traveler without a valid pre-arrival test will be required to quarantine for 14 days. They will spend the first portion of their quarantine in a designated hotel facility. Following the receipt of a negative day 8 test, they will be allowed to complete the final days of their quarantine at home, fitted with an electronic monitoring device. These persons will test on days 8 and days 14. If they do not live alone, all other members of the household will be required to quarantine as well, and all members of the household must test out of quarantine on day 14. These changes will take effect on August 23rd and are being made due to the incredible progress that the country has made in its vaccination program.